Arguably part of the quickest back three in the league, former Canberra flyer Michael Robertson on one flank, the experienced Chris Hicks on the other. The centres are in tremendous form. Stephen Bell has scored 8 tries in 7 matches since joining the Eagles. Maybe not getting the same kind of raps, but Steve Maddai has been superb on the left side. One of the real finds of the year has been their 21-year-old 5'8" Travis Burns. Not much of him, but a real go-getter. While Matt Orford obviously has found his feet since his high-profile move coming up from Melbourne. Over 550 first-grade games experience in their back row. Ben Kennedy locks the scrum. He is the captain and should find himself in an Australian jersey tonight. Stephen Menzies just 4 shy of becoming the 9th player to play 300 first-grade games. Anthony Watmo made his origin debut last year for the Blues. There is size in their front row with Jason King and Brent Kite. Their hooker, Michael Monaghan, has slotted in nicely to the number 9 role. Does give them another kicking option also. Their interchange, Shane Dunley, who had a season with the Eels back in 2003, alongside Luke Williamson. Big Mark Bryant and Adam Cuthbertson, who is a local junior, has been brought into the squad, jersey 18, coached by Des Hasler.
Here's the Parramatta Eels team for today at fullback, Wade McKinnon. I've spoken about him on the wings, and it's Matt Peterson and Eric Grove. He is in scintillating form, the best of his career. There's no doubt about that. The centres, well, we've got young Brett Delaney and Tamana Tahu. Tamana Tahu plays on the left. That means he's going to be directly opposite Stephen Bell for Manly. That battle alone is worth the price of admission. In the halves, Jeremy Smith and Tim Smith. Tim Smith, I think the cricket ground will suit his style of play. A short kicking game, he'll get good value in behind the goals there. I can see Eels coming up with a lot of short attacking kicks this afternoon. Have a look at this back row of forwards. These 3 players can all play for 80 minutes. You've got Glenn Morrison, Chad Robinson, and you've got Nathan Hindmarsh. Can all play for 80 minutes, all good in attack and defence. And when you've got such a mobile, fit back row, it takes a lot of pressure off the interchange for your coach, because these fellas can go the distance. In the front row, we've got Nathan Kalis, who's the captain, John Morris and Michael Vella. Off the bench today for Parramatta. Now, this is where they can win the game. You find me 2 better interchange players than these fellas, Mark Riddell and Dean Witters. And Brian Smith uses them very, very strategically. The other 2, Fui Moi Moi, who's got plenty of impact as well, and Adam Peake, he'll just interchange with the front rowers.
I remember calling it for radio in those days. Stephen Clark, his 272nd first-grade game. So Parramatta running towards the Randwick end of the ground, and a very good chase on the kick-off by Parramatta saw Tamana Tahu make the first tackle on the Sea Eagles wing 3/4 Chris Hicks, who was under an injury cloud coming into the game. So the second play of the day, and this is Brent Kite taking it towards centre ground. He's 22 metres away from his own line. They're running up towards the Paddington end of the ground, and Kennedy gets his first touch on the 30-metre line. You've heard the call, dominant. That means the defenders can take a little bit more time to get off him, but they can't go to sleep there, and they have given a penalty.
Mate, you got it, mate, it was him.
Kalis and Vella, and you would have heard at the back end of the conversation, Kalis said, "It wasn't us, sir, it was him."
Hold it, boys.
But I suppose that'd be a natural thing to plead.
That's one.
This is King. Jason King, arguably the biggest man on the ground. Manly's number 8. They're 35 metres away from the M.A. Noble stand end of the ground as they run towards it. Menzies, tryless this year. Prolific try scorer during the mid-90s, playing in the green and gold. Orford then, away for Kennedy. Offers him the runaround, but Kennedy then tries to go ahead before Kalis is there to pull him down again with Vella. Getting involved, Morrison. Orford working something on the blind side. The cross kick, read by McKinnon. Bounces up, then decides to try and surrender.
Move! Marcus straight! Go!
So Parramatta back on their own try line. Matai goes in jumper number 4, making the tackle with his captain Kennedy. And a penalty goes.
What's straight?
It goes against Matai. I'm just listening to Stephen Clark. It's against the marker for not being straight, the number 4, Matai. When he says that, he means not directly in front of the man playing the ball. So they find the line 35 metres away from their own line.
And both teams happy to get a penalty in their opening set of 6, made it easier to get it out of the danger end. Nathan Hindmarsh striving towards the halfway mark. Both teams looking to get good starts to try and get some momentum early in this game.
Villa, he was squashed under that tackle from Monaghan. It was a good tackle by the number 9, former Manly captain. Parramatta used the ball through the hands. They go extreme left over towards the O'Reilly stand side of the ground with Tahu. Now Gross. And from dummy half, Morris makes good ground. Oh, Kalis spun towards the defence and passed with his back on the defence. This is Stephen Bell. 8 tries from 7 games this year. And I know Peter Sterling is one of his greatest admirers. Menzies, Manly appealing for a penalty. They felt that Parramatta might have lifted him above the horizontal, or certainly came up with the legs. On the 30-metre line now for Manly. Manly, of course, haven't been back to the cricket ground since they won the grand final in 1987 here. Paul Vorton was the captain that day. Des Hasler was in the team. It's a charge down, and Parramatta have got the ball. I thought for a moment Orford was going to come up with all the aces, but Morrison will play the ball right on the halfway line. Hindmarsh getting it away for Jeremy Smith, and he lost his footing there. So it's obviously had a fair bit of water, I would imagine, on it around the cricket pitch area. Movement means that the defenders have to get off and get away as quickly as they can. Kalis on the 40-metre line now for Morris to go away to Tim Smith, and he lets a forward run a decoy before finding Morrison, and the ball goes swiftly across then to Tamana. Could be in the Australian side tonight. 25 away from the line. They go for the cross kick. Maddai, the bounce is great for Parramatta, and Delaney puts it down, but did he put it down properly? The referee has pointed to the spot. Delaney has scored for Parramatta. A delightful kick. It was a mongrel of a bounce for Manly.
And that is the Tim Smith of 2005. So many tries scored off the boot. All the chasers well and truly behind the kicker. Not easy to find ground in there. There are 4 Manly players, so the kick had to be perfect.
Delaney then from 18 in and 18 out. He strikes it. He's got it. Delaney converts his own try. So early days. Parramatta 6, Manly no score, 7 minutes gone. Where they got the perfect bounce. Here's Kalis bringing the ball back. 10 metres out from his own line.
Well, it's a great start for Parramatta because they have struggled to score tries this year. In fact, coming into this weekend, they've scored the fewest tries of any teams in the NRL. I get the feeling with the way that Manly play, you've got to score points to be able to beat the Seagulls.
Parramatta just outside the 30-metre line where Robinson it was who played the ball. They go to the short side to Tahu, and Chris Hicks comes in off his wing to make the tackle. They'll have to stay very alert down that right side for Manly's defence, because Tahu and Growth have been in brilliant form. So Tim Smith pushes it out for Jeremy to put a kick in that comes down off a Parramatta teammate, and it goes down to Kennedy for Manly. Now it's out to Menzies, and Menzies is taken by Morris before getting it to Bell, and Bell is tackled. Andrew sideline.
Yeah, just to comment on Brett Delaney, he's actually the youngest player out there today, and it certainly does make us all feel old, Rabs. He was 10 years off being born when the 1976 grand final was played.
Played by Brent Kite now. Yeah, it's a bit scary for me to think about it, to be quite frank with you, Andrew. Matai plays the ball now, and here's Watmo pushing away a player who wasn't supposed to be there. It was a smart piece of work by Watmo. The referee thought it was better to let him keep going, and he's played the ball on the 30-metre line. Orford turning it back for King. He puts the ball on the ground. Parramatta's got the ball. Vella will play it 30 out from his own line.
Yeah, back into the run-on side for Parramatta, Michael Vella. He's only one of 3 players out there this afternoon who've ever had any experience here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Nathan Kalis, Michael Vella and Brent Kite all at club level over the last couple of seasons.
Here at the cricket ground, it's 7-3 to the Eagles. Match is played and won. Hindmarsh eventually going down under the tackle of Orford and Matai. Matai was the major tackler. Here's John Morris. He did a fine job at number 9 last weekend. And that's a very good tackle there by Watmo. That might have shaken Morris up a little bit. Now it's gone over for Tim Smith and then on to Michael Vella. Puts his head down and tries to go through the wall, but Matai and Menzies, they made a very stiff opposition for him. Parramatta, mid-ground, 30 metres out, and Tim Smith goes to the air. So here's the catch. Oh, it's come forward off McKinnon. No need to go any further with that. And it's the end of the tackle count, so it's the turnover.
Hand over. Wait, Chris. Wait, Chris.
6-0 in favour of Parramatta. A try scored by Delaney.
Go.
6 minutes into the game. Here's Bell. That'll be a most interesting tussle over there. I mentioned they'll have to be alert on that right side for Manly. But so will Parramatta, because Bell, he can score a try. He's a Queenslander. And he's a very good player. Him and Tahu head-to-head today. That's mouth-watering stuff. Played by Kite. And away goes the number 2, Robertson, the former Raider. That's Tahu. Back into his line. Orford trying to wend his way through. They've got to keep him well contained if they're to win. Robinson delivers for Burns. He played his junior football up near Gundawindi at a place called Texas. Over the dead ball line she goes for the restart to come to the 20.
I like the fact there that Matt Orford dummied and run. I've always been a believer that Parramatta read the pass very, very good in defence. If you're trying to squeeze a player through a hole, they read that okay. They don't always read the dummy, the fellow who's prepared to use the decoy runner and go himself. Matt Orford nearly sliced through there.
Parramatta now then. Back with the football just outside the 30-metre line. They've won the last 5 clashes against Manly in more recent times, but 4 of those were at Parramatta Stadium. The last win for Manly over Parramatta was back in 2003. Head-to-head, Manly has a decisive advantage there. They both came into the comp in 1947. So here's a kick through from Jeremy Smith. And that ball is going to stop and make Manly do some work. Manly pegged in goal. 6-0 in favour of Parramatta. They're about to get the football back from a line dropout. The Blue and Gold Army in this 44,000-seat stadium. They tend to get lost, the Army, but they're here. You can hear them in fine voice. But Manly, of course, they've got their cheer squad here as well. The dropout, 45 metres to Jeremy Smith, and here's Michael Vella. Oh, gee, that's big from Kennedy. You don't run at Kennedy and win too many battles, and Michael Vella knows that. Kalis. Kennedy almost got a sight of what he had for breakfast, let me tell you. Now it's gone from Jeremy Smith, and Chad Robinson has turned inside. They're 15 away from the line. Third tackle down. Tim Smith almost got himself offside. Nathan Kalis on the end of another good tackle from Manly. Let me identify and get it right. It was King mainly. The Watmo was in it. Over to the left they go. Jeremy Smith does the dance with Burns. Tahu! Tahu is close. Tahu on 5. Close to the line. Plays it back for John Morris. Goes back for Tim Smith to put a kick in. There's the kick. McKinnon goes for it. Picked up by Monahan. Great play by Michael Monahan. Orford now throws the ball out wide to Robertson, who's fast, but they get across in cover.
Well, that's great football from both teams there. The kick was an excellent one. Michael Monahan did superbly well, not only to clean the football up, but to see there was an opportunity. Mistake forced from Steve Matai. The touch judge has told the referee it was a rake. So Glenn Morrison throws the ball away in disgust.
That's the man who called this to Stephen Clark. I think he was ready to play on.
Well, that's not a penalty. That is not a penalty. It's the worst rule in rugby league. Steve Clark had it right, and the linesman overruled him. Steve Clark should have had the confidence to go on with it.
Mickey boys, hold, go.
Mind you, he didn't have to listen to the touch judge if he didn't want to. King played back to Monahan, and Watmo with a little bubble, bauble, whatever it's called, bobble. Thank you. 40 away from the Parramatta line. Monahan for Kite. Yeah, I don't think the touch judge has got any government over that matter. So Clark could have stuck if he wanted to. He didn't see it properly. That's why he went with him. Here's Kennedy. Kennedy back to the middle. 25 away now. Here's Burns. Grassing tackle, Morrison. Played back. It came off the boot of Monahan. A penalty. It's against the player from Parramatta. Interfering with the play of the ball. And that is a penalty.
And in that instance, you've got to get to the side, not back through the ruck area. Looking dangerous now. Travis Burns almost stepped his way through Matai to take the tap. Only 5 metres out. Jason King met with some good defence and forced back.
Parramatta then making ground without the football. Monahan to the middle to Orford. Orford goes to Brent Kite. He runs into Vella and Kalis. Kalis had an outstanding game last weekend. Here's Orford running decoy. Monahan goes back to the left. Oh, Matai! Did it touch the fingers? He said play on. Matai for the corner. He's short. So it comes away from Monahan at first receiver now. Hindmarsh and Morrison with Kalis taking their time with the tackle. Played back to the big prop King. Orford gets the ball, steps, sends, puts it on the ground behind him. They're over the line. Did they get it down? No. Manly have not got it down.
Tackle 5. We're going out here. Play the ball. Get a hand under that ball. Anthony Watnow's going to play it. Wait, boys. Wait, Anthony. Glenn Morrison, both feet.
So, played by Watmo under the new rules. And Peterson. He took the gamble and he won.
Marcus straight.
Oh, gee. I thought he would have just dived on it, cleaned it up, but he said, I'm going to gamble.
He put it one basket. Michael Monahan did a similar job at the other end in a dangerous situation. Matt Peterson has replied in kind as Eric Growth brushes away from a couple.
Oh,
And
look at Growth. Look at Eric Growth. Pushing player after player away on the ground that his father scored what I believe to be one of the greatest rugby league tries ever. Played by Robinson. Morris getting it away. Peak is on. And there is young Eric Growth. His dad scored that magnificent try. I fancy it was against Canterbury. Robertson outside the 20-metre line.
I mentioned Adam Peake into the game. He came on for that man, Michael Vella. Good opening 15 minutes. And the big fella as Brett Stewart tries to find some space up the middle. Taken by Kalis, Peake and Smith.
Just inside that 30-metre line. They're in the centre of the ground, the Telstra sign. And you see that on your screen. You know they're in the middle of the park. They're going down the middle corridor. This is the centre, Matai, who's had a checkered start to the game. The kick for Monahan. He and Orford have blended a nice combination together. I'm happy for Monahan, as most Manly people would be. Oh, McKinnon, he's into touch. Good work, Kennedy. Good work, Robertson. And a little bit dumb from the bloke we keep rapping, Wade McKinnon.
He's had plenty of chances to straighten up and keep away from the sideline there, but Manly herded him towards the sideline. They really showed him the outside, and he took the bait. He couldn't help himself. He thought for a moment, I can run around them, and that man there, Ben Kennedy, said, try if you like, I've got you covered, and got him over the white sideline.
20 metres away from the Parramatta line. Here is Kite. One-on-one originally with Delaney. Hindmarsh going in to complete. They're 12 away. They're 15 away. As Orford comes back to Stewart, the fullback, and Stewart trying to get his arms free to turn it around the corner to Robertson, who's the dummy half now. Back on the 10-metre line, Orford, a dummy, and then a give. It's out to Burns. And Burns is put down by a two-man Parramatta tackle. Monahan for Kennedy. Has already done some wonderful things. Menzies loses the ball. Parramatta have got the ball in the Paddington corner, the old Paddington Hill corner. I'm not going to say any more than that, Neville. That'll do for the day.
You've got to be very aware of the Ben Kennedy offload. Normally the right hand, that was a flick the other side. But you must make sure that your defence doesn't go past Ben Kennedy, because he will always be looking to get the offload away in behind the defence.
Tahu wasn't held. He passed from the ground. That's acceptable. Hindmarsh's with the ball now. And he's held by Matai and Kennedy together with Orford. Played back to Morrison, and Kalis lumbers up towards the halfway mark.
That's far. Mark is straight. Go.
So they're 5 metres from halfway as the ball spins through the hands of Jeremy Smith and is keeping company at the moment with Chad Robinson. Stephen Bell making the tackle. As Parramatta now take play into Manly's half. This will be let go. 20-metre restart. 6-0 Parramatta. Sunday football on Channel 9. And the clash commemorating, if you like, the 76 grand final. It's the anniversary year, 30 years gone since Manly beat Parramatta 13-10 on that occasion. And there's a blood bin.
Take him at the back, Jeff.
Blood for Orford. And Morrison's not well. He's still on the ground after making the tackle.
Very awkward looking tackle with Matt Orford trying to duck under the two defenders. Whether Orford had blood coming from the nose before the run.
Matty Orford largely responsible for Manly's impressive record. Morrison's got to come off.
I think he's jarred his neck there, Ray. He's banged his head into the hip of Orford. And you saw the trainer there signal, look at your neck, we're not going to take any chances, let's get to the sideline. He'll just duck his head and bang. Gets a bang on his hip and you can see him grimace. I'd say that's jarred his neck. Yep, and the trainer just signaled to the sideline, look, it's his neck, get him straight off.
Yeah, when your head's already compressed going into the tackle and there is some contact, there's no give. There's no room for margin. Dean Witters now comes into the game.
Well, Peter, he's had neck problems before, if you remember, down in Wollongong. Received a very nasty injury. Lucky to be playing the game at all. So they won't take any chances with Glenn Morrison.
Kite now playing the ball right on the halfway line. As Orford puts a kick in down into the Paddington Hill corner. And McKinnon, he loses the ball. Manly will probably score here. Menzies is held by Gross. There's the try line. Peake and Gross making the tackle on Menzies. I thought they really had to score. It was a McKinnon mistake. Now it's Orford. Now it's Matai. Matai's inside the 10. Matai close to the line. Can't get it down. Held by Peterson and Smith. Matai plays it back for Stewart, and Stewart goes out to Orford. Orford gives the pass on to Burns. Burns goes down to the 10-metre line where he's pulled down by Nathan Kalis. Away goes Monahan. They knock on and Parramatta's got the advantage. Well, they've had a couple of let-offs, Parramatta.
That's brilliant scrambling defence from Parramatta. They look certain to score Manly twice. Once on the right through Menzies, then on the left through Matai. They just keep getting there, this Parramatta side. Been under enormous pressure. Now a relieving penalty.
And speaking of relief, no one more relieved out there than Wade McKinnon. Two bad carries back. The first he gave the opposition an opportunity to put him over the sideline. And that time, in his effort to get out of the in-goal area, ducked down, and the contact with the defenders forced the ball loose. There were 3 or 4 players there for Manly. They just couldn't get in a position for Menzies to get the pass away to one of the supports.
Wade McKinnon and Justin Hodges, what have they got in common? When they make a mistake, it's a very conspicuous mistake. Halfway line for Parramatta, and don't get me wrong, I think they're both brilliant players, marvellous players. Friday night football, talking of Hodges. Australia versus New Zealand from Suncorp, on Suncorp, I should say, Friday at 8:30 on 9. I guess I'm suggesting that Hodges should be in the side, and I do believe he should be. But now it's away for Jeremy Smith to go to a second-man play for Dean Witters to give it, and Delaney puts that big frame of his up in front of the Manly defence, and they accept him. Matai and Robertson. Witters goes away. Smith, it's back and away, and it goes dead in goal.
Well, that kick on that occasion, that was about a 9.9 degree of difficulty, so it wasn't a high percentage kick. Yadeen Cuthbertson is out there now in the headgear, about to play the football. Fui Moi out there. Nathan Kalis getting a break.
So Medina's on for Manly. Mark Bryant. Now, let's go to Andrew on the sideline. He's with one of the Manly legends.
Oh, absolute greats. Graham Eady, who kicked 5 goals in that grand final in '76. Graham, when was the last time you were at the ground? It's been over 20 years.
It has. It's not 1983 was the last time I was here. I went to England after that, and it's just great to be back here.
Now, you know that some of the Eels greats are still blowing up about some of the scrum penalties given in that '76 grand final that you kicked some goals from. What's your version on events?
Well, you've just got to play the whistle. That's all I can say, and we did. We played the whistle, and Gary Cook was quite fair in his scrum penalties, and at that stage you could kick for goal, and we did.
Finally, we love rivals in rugby league. Parramatta Manly is one of the best.
They were. You know, we came in at the same year, 1947, and yeah, we were lucky enough to win grand finals before that, and yeah, and it was good that yeah, we got a chance to play them in the grand final in '76, and it was just good that we came out on top.
Graham, thanks for coming down to the sideline.
Not a problem, Andrew.
Graham Eady, Ray.
Yeah, Graham Eady of the Wombat, one of the greatest fullbacks I've ever seen. Here's Tahu, and Tahu is tackled 30 metres away from the Manly line. Manly struggling to get back into a defensive formation, and a penalty goes to Parramatta. Now he's moved the mark. He's taken it up 10 metres out from the uprights.
And that'll ensure a kick for goal here. As Ben Kennedy questions the decision, John Morris played it very well. Milked it to the degree that he didn't give the referee much of a choice. I don't know whether it's through accident or design, but Tamana Tahu has had more touches in the opening 20 minutes of this game than I can remember, and the side is benefiting. What an athlete. So good on his feet for a big man. Tremendous speed. And here's John Morris. The marker's never in the right position, and Morris appealing all the time to the referee that that was the case.
They were all over the place, the Manly defensive line. It was like the zigzag railway, wasn't it? It was begging, really, to be broken. And Watmo, I think, probably thought I might as well cough up too. But the back chat didn't help. Now Delaney from 12 out right in front. Might as well be in front. Just a shade off to the left of the uprights. Remind me not to take up selling real estate. Delaney scored the try at the 6th minute. He converted it. Boots this one high, wide and handsome down to the Randwick end.
Tahu's got to be in the Australian side. They'll probably pick him on the wing. He deserves to be in his own position.
Here's Fui Fui Moi Moi. How many Fui Fuis are there required in that name? Gus, I heard you call him Fui Fui Fui. Are there 2 or 3?
I threw a 3rd one in, mate, because I just thought he was in for a big day.
Peake plays the ball and Widders goes out beyond. He's gone through. Widders going down the side. Gets the ball back on the inside. Tahu gives it back to him. Tremendous effort by the replacement forward Widders. Now Robinson. And he gets it away. McKinnon would love to redeem that mistake of his. And he almost did. He's pulled down a metre from the line by Watmo and Menzies. Morris gives it away. Parramatta are a metre out. 5 gone. Gross will play it. John Morris then. Ball goes to ground. Bounces twice. Jeremy Smith's got a kick. He does that now. Peterson's coming with the jump. Peterson scores! Peterson up in the air. Just like Delaney earlier on, but this was more fantastic. This was more spectacular. Jeremy Smith, great kick, and Peterson, the winger, has scored.
And it put the icing on a great break on the far side of the field where Dean Widders, who normally comes down the right-hand side in attack, just gets around the slower man Cuthbertson on the inside. I thought it was Eric Groth looming up on the inside. There was Tamana Tahu, who did a great job to get the ball back to Widders once he'd been covered. Manly did a tremendous job to scramble in defence. And this 5'8", Jeremy Smith, he's a solid player. He's nothing flash, but his kicking game has been very, very good in the 1 1/4 games he has played in the top grade.
Hits it. Oh, I think he's got it. Yes, he has. Almost from the same place that the Crow missed one.
Tell you also, Glenn Morrison's been given the all clear to return as well, so all good for Parramatta.
Very hard to come here particularly with these two sides, and not walk down memory lane.
Well, the big surprise after half an hour, Ray, is the scoreline. That's forward.
Manly versus Parramatta. Parramatta leading 14-0. But Manly have had a mile of chances. Referee got in the road. He didn't think that he obstructed play. So Orford takes the tackle and plays it just outside the 20.
And what a chance for Manly now. I was saying the other side of the break, the surprise is that they are 14 behind. They're not playing poorly, Manly, but they need to convert some of this pressure as they go down the short side with Mark Bryant.
Bryant in 17. Cuthbertson in 18. Dunley is on in 14. And this is Chris Hicks, who will play the ball 4 metres away from the Parramatta line, down at the Paddington end. Now Kennedy, and he goes back to Burns, and Burns is tackled. 5 gone. Tackler was Widders. Then Watmoe. Now Orford off the feet of Parramatta, picked up there by Bryant, and Bryant is tackled. He's claimed the Parramatta player didn't plant the ball, so that's the turnover. Another stroke of good fortune for Parramatta inside their own 10-metre line.
But they're defending well, though, Rabbits, aren't they? I mean, they're all scrambling, they're talking, communicating. There's a sense of desperation in their play. Ben Kennedy, a little bit of an injury there, which would be a worry, but he's over there tackling, so I suppose he's all right.
Parramatta 25 metres away from their own line now. Tahu is with the ball.
I can't tell whether that's injury or whether it's disappointment from Ben Kennedy. He does wear his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think Ben was using 1 or 2 words under his breath. Now, John Morris. Gee, they're well off for number 9s, aren't they, Parramatta? They might have only won 1 of their last 4 matches, but they've got blokes like Riddell and PJ Marsh, and then they can bring their 5/8 John Morris in, who used to be a number 9 with Newcastle.
Well, I heard Brian Smith during the week say that John Morris forced him to leave him in the position he played so well in last week. He couldn't change that after the performance Morris came up with against the Tigers.
Stephen Bell is tackled there by Moi Moi. And, knocked on by Watmoe. Watmoe's put a simple one down. Just looking at that timepiece, this half is flowing by. 7.5 minutes of the first half remaining. 22 metres out. Kennedy fell back down on Jeremy Smith. Now Hindmarsh hits the blind side. 10 metres away. And the Clive Churchill stand corner. Now to the middle for Moi Moi. Huge leg drive. Cuthbertson and Bryant making the tackle with Dunley. 3 replacements. Morris to Hindmarsh. Hoping to get a pass back and away, but Burns took his legs. Morris. Here's, Moi Moi taken high by Bryant. Penalty Parramatta. Moi Moi still down. Bryant wrapping the arm around the throat.
Yeah, they went for the surprise tactic there. Normally throw the pass behind the man who's flat. But John Morris opted for Moi Moi, and Mark Bryant had to make a quick decision. Went high.
Delaney there to send it out to another 2 points on the Parramatta side of the scoreboard. They lead 16 points to 0. I still agree with Peter Sterling. I don't think there's been 16 points between these two sides. I understand the scoreboard says there is, but it could have been much, much closer than 16-0. That's, I think, inarguable as Moi Moi plays it now.
Ray, I like the fact that both teams have come here in such a positive attitude. Now they've looked to throw the football around. The Michael Monaghan clean up on his own line and straight away looking to throw the ball out to the far extremities. That signified how both teams are looking to attack this game.
Dominating tackle there by Manly. Back on the Parramatta 40-metre line. Widders was underneath it. This is Adam Peake. Well, he got a pass away that's gone forward to Wade McKinnon. So a scrum will pack right in the middle of the ground and 40 metres away from the Parramatta try line. Eagles coming into the game at number 5. Parramatta coming in at number 13. Eagles have scored 10 more tries than Parramatta in the competition, although Parramatta has had the bye. But it's a big gap, isn't it? They're able to lay tries on, obviously, more comfortably than Parramatta. That's not being translated to today's scoreboard, though, is it? Played by Bell. It's come on and away for Cuthbertson to go to Menzies, and then a bit of sloppy play, but it might work out okay. Watmo will go to ground just inside the 30-metre line. Running up towards the MA Noble corner as it's Matai who takes it to the centre now. They're 20 metres away from the Parramatta line. A try before half-time is what Manly wants badly. Off and a beautiful ball. Burns gives it back, and the Eagles are in. Stewart has scored, the fullback. Orford delivered a lovely ball to the number 6. Stewart supported. They're going to the video examination. Orford's confident. Burns is being congratulated.
They'll look at obstruction here, Ray. They'll look as to whether or not a player was taken out with a decoy runner. Kennedy is the decoy runner. He will go through. I don't think he's contacted with anyone. I don't think there's any problem there whatsoever. There's another one. Menzies. No, I don't think that's a problem. The pass beat him. I don't think that the defender, Morris or Smith, there was in any position to make a play.
So there it is. The try confirms what Phil Gould and Peter Sterling both agreed on. It is 16-4, and there's the try scorer, the Manly fullback Brett Stewart. Here it is on replay.
Yeah, 2 decoy players there, both back rowers. Ben Kennedy going through, Steve Menzies going through, forcing the opposition to make decisions. And as you pointed out, it is obvious they needed that before the break. They've remained patient. They've got players out there with vast experience, so the scoreboard shouldn't be a problem when you've got Kennedy and Menzies and Orford just talking to their players.
The one thing about this Manly side this year I've noticed, they've led in games and they've come from behind in games. They've got great attitude control. I don't think the scoreboard's in their mind at all. They know they're in the contest just from the football they're playing. And this man, Brett Stewart, you're always a chance of winning games while ever he's on the field. He will support the play everywhere, and he's a chance of coming up with not only 1 try but 2 or 3 as the afternoon wears on.
Parramatta restarting, and this is Bryant, who's been slammed into the ground.
You put him in a dangerous position.
He's got the player in a dangerous position. The man in question is Adam Peake. The man on the end of it was Mark Bryant. And Morrison also got involved. Cuthbertson, 5 metres into Parramatta's territory now. 16-6 in favour of Parramatta. Bryant proving that the tackle did no harm, and thankfully it didn't. Here's Kennedy just inside the 30-metre line. Under 2 minutes to go. Penalty to Manly. Little forearm down on the head or the neck area of Kennedy from Hindmarsh. So Manly deciding to revisit the try line. Right on half-time, Bryant takes it to the blind side, which opens it up now the entire width of the ground. Orford goes to Cuthbertson. I don't know that he was required.
That's 2, make that line, Mark.
A jolting effect on what they were setting up. They come back. Orford, and Watmo has got the ball. I don't know that he thought he was going to get it. He plays it back to Bryant. Bryant to Orford, and away it goes to Burns off his right foot. And pulled down around the legs by Riddell, who has a second go.
Hey,
it's a penalty to Manly.
That's very close to sin bin, Ray. Mark Riddell.
Hey, whoa. Get both feet to the line. There's your mark.
So Manly with a few seconds remaining. Cuthbertson is over the line and he's held up.
Time out, tackle 1.
So that's tackle 1. And can they get it over the line? They've got 5 opportunities to do it. Here is Burns. Now it's Orford, and they go back for Kennedy. He lays it on the ground accidentally. Orford for Menzies. Menzies now, off his left foot a couple of times. Then he puts a kick in behind Growth. Menzies has scored! Chris Hicks has scored! In the Paddington corner there. They're going to the video referee, but Menzies with a delightful kick, a delicate kick. And I think Chris Hicks has scored for Manly in behind Eric Growth.
Well, we're going upstairs to check the onside, but it looks good. Steve Menzies is a marvel, an absolute marvel. Might not score the amount of tries that he has in the past, but he stops plenty, and here he's created one. And I think Eric Growth gets lazy there. Growth just didn't show the necessary urgency, which you must show in an instance like that, especially with time almost up.
Try. Manly fans, they're happier now with the scoreboard because they knew they were not a 16-point worst side today. 16-10, Andrew sideline.
Yeah, quite incredible what has just happened. The Parramatta players, you look at the body language of them in goal after this try has been scored as the kickers lined up. It is not good. They are standing there. It's the shot of a team, maybe 78th, 79th minute, and they've just lost the game. The fans here, they're all buzzing here, the Manly supporters. You'd reckon they're in front by 10 or 12. They're actually still behind by 6. That's got to be the message from Brian Smith. We are still in front.
It'll require a hell of a kick from the man who went past 1,000 points last weekend. No! Doesn't matter how small you are. Doesn't matter. What a magnificent kick. 16-12 at half-time. It seems like it was only a matter of a second to go. They were looking at 16 unanswered points. Orford from the sideline. And at half-time, as the maroon and whites and the blue and golds leave the Sydney Cricket Ground, we have got a game on our hands. 16-12, a break, and then we're back.
A lot can happen in a weekend of footy.
Oh, look at that fend! Oh. You'll never see a better fend than that one.
And live every Monday, NRL Scoreboard puts it all under the microscope.
It has to be just an automatic live band.
Step by step, the incidents.
If I was part of the Manly club, I'd be blowing up.
The injuries, the insights.
That was in the running for a bucket.
Forget about everything else.
Keep in touch with what goes down after every round. NRL Scoreboard, live 8:30 Monday.
Han Premium Light. Some drink it because they're responsible.
What?
Others just love the taste.
The questions asked when I'm generally at the service desk. The most common I would say is, have you seen my husband? I've lost him in the store somewhere.
Portable power garden stake only $29.80. GMC petrol blower $99. Bosch 14.4 volt cordless drill $147. Dulux 101 advanced paint $59.90. CSR Gyprock plasterboard just $12.90.
That's probably the most common.
Bunnings Warehouse. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Not this. Not that. Not whatever. Not a trend. Not an afterthought.
Not a quiet night in. Not a compromise.
Not for everyone. Not meant to be. It just is.
The bourbon.
Harvey Norman gives you 18 months interest-free. Buy now and pay no deposit with no repayments and no interest for 18 months. That's 18 months to pay for your new sofa, dining or home office furniture. 18 months on bedding, bedroom suites and bed linen. 18 months on the latest and greatest technology and home appliances. 18 months on a new computer, notebook, clever gadgets and high-tech entertainment. That's no deposit, no repayments and no interest for 18 months. How good is that? It's time to go shopping now at Harvey Norman.
It's time to win here.
4-point margin. Eels leading the Sea Eagles. And now Manly running left-right. And the 20 for Parramatta. Bringing it back is Adam Peake with the blue headgear on now. Moi. Gee, that's a very good effort there by Shane Dunley. Moi straight at you, full head of steam. Dunley at least stopped him. Tahu looked like he might have been prepared to accept the ball had gone forward, but then Clark said play on. So Parramatta does that with Riddell, 30 metres away from his own line, running towards the Paddington end. His growth, that 40-metre line is his own. Riddell for Tim Smith, and then for Adam Peake on his knees, passing. Now away to Hindmarsh. Jeremy Smith, they're doing a lot of passing. Now they find something. McKinnon drives it straight, and Kite and Kennedy make the shot, make the tackle. Tim Smith kicking and finding the line down at the junction of the touch line on the east and the 20-metre line. Moi straight at you. I know what I'd be doing. I'd be finding somewhere to hide. This was Dunley. The big bloke just shouldered him and trampled on top of him. And full marks to Dunley. Bravery, 10 out of 10.
With all that ball movement, Ray, I thought if Nathan Hindmarsh just had a caught and passed on his outside, they'd established an overlap, but he passed it back inside to Jeremy Smith. Tim ended up finding touch as Orford gives it to Matai from the scrum win.
He's probably had more work, Matai, than Stephen Bell, the more illustrious of the centres for Manly, and I don't mean that to be disrespectful to Matai. This is Jason King. He stands over a lot of ground. His Kite has a tendency to cock his knee, a bit like Craig Smith used to as he comes to the defender. Dunley for Orford, and this ball has gone back and down, and Dunley has got the ball back, and 6 more, says referee Stephen Clark. King taken by Peake. Now Orford dances around Morrison. Riddell has to make the tackle. Play just outside the 20. Chris Hicks got the try right on half-time. They're 10 away. Manly, Burns, Kennedy. Decide to try and go over the top of Withers. Hindmarsh cleans him up. Dummy half Burns. On the bounce for Dunley. Dunley running along the 10, stepping and running into Growth eventually, which indicates that he couldn't run along the 10-metre line much longer. Played back to Bell, 5th tackle. Orford. No, I don't think he played at the ball here, Hindmarsh. And the ball goes to ground, and Manly have got it. He's restarted it. He's restarted the tackle count. Kennedy tackled 10, 12 metres out. Now Watmo. Kennedy standing and appealing for a penalty. He felt that the marker wasn't in front. Penalty now to Manly. He came up with the boot and the tackle.
Well, with the restart, Ray, I'd be keen to have a look at the onside man who got the football as well, as they dummy the quick tap. Stewart comes up now and goes through the real one.
So Orford to the chest of Matai. He's been close 3 or 4 times, the centre. Menzies back for Stewart. Got one of the 2 tries near half-time. Orford, 9 out. The pass takes them to Burns, 8 metres out. 3rd tackle gone. Slow play the ball. Parramatta sets it again, the defence line. Orford's kick easy for McKinnon. McKinnon tries to go through, puts a fend on. Bell picks him up quickly on the Parramatta 20.
I don't know that Nathan Hindmarsh shouldn't have got a penalty on that charge down there where the referee ruled 6 again. Looked to me like he was restricted. They actually pull him out of the way to stop him from getting to the ball. Brent Kite came in and knocked him down. Nathan Hindmarsh should have got a penalty there, and if Manly scored, Parramatta could have blown up deluxe.
But Brent Kite was also offside. He was in front of Travis Burns.
Growth. There's Nathan. Riddell gives it to Moy. Asks him to go ahead, and Dunley's got him again.
You're milking it, Philly. Just get up.
Riddell kicking in general play, and it's a kick that finds the line 10 metres out. 16-12 then. Andrew sideline.
Well, I'm told at half-time that man, the number 13 for Manly, Ben Kennedy, had a lot to say in the dressing room. So too Coach Des Hasler. But a real rev up for the team, and Manly showed their hand by starting their second half with their starting front rowers. They sent Brent Kite and Jason King out there, so made 2 interchanges at half-time. That doesn't happen too often, so they wanted a big start to their second half and put the Eels to the sword. On the Parramatta side of things, still positive talk in the room from Brian Smith, saying just start their second half the way we did the first. Just have to cut down on the error rate inside our own half.
Thank you, Andrew. This is Robertson. Andrew sitting down on the sideline today, where Frank Hyde and myself and Tiger Black and Cole Pearce used to call the football from here at the cricket ground. And from where he's sitting, you couldn't see the wingers on the far side of the ground, but you could see their head. That's about all you could see. Such as the hump in the middle of this ground. King. 40-metre line, Manly's end, Dunley slipping on that area that I described to you earlier, where they've put some water, and Orford getting a kick away, but it jumped up. Friendly for Growth, and Growth got rid of Dunley and got the ball back and away for Jeremy Smith. 7 minutes of the second half to go. Young Eric Growth getting back into position.
Yeah, he's hurt his hand in that contact.
Withers is looking for support. They're not coming. Withers keeps going. Still not held. Now he's held. 10 out from the line. Played back for Delaney to come to Tim Smith and then go to Mark Riddell. It'll bounce for Morrison. He gives it up for Tahu. Tahu invites them into the dance. Morrison will score. Morrison scores at the Paddington end.
Absolutely brilliant. Tamana Tahu has come up with the offload of the game. There's Eric Growth getting his head stitched. Absolutely brilliant. Here's the Growth, the charge upfield. I think it's Dunley, the one that he pushes, and bang, head clash. That's the reason now for the stitches that'll go in the forehead. Here's Dean Withers, so dangerous on the edges. Good play, this fella in broken play. Another dummy. Gets himself to down within 10 metres of the line. And Peter, from there, it was just to get it out to the speed man out wide.
Well, the pass went astray, Gus. And as you pointed out, Tamana Tahu, he was able to turn this situation. Eric Growth's not there. He's going to attend it. Gets the football now. As we freeze it, we've got 1, 2, 3 defenders as play continues that he ties up. Gets them all involved and gives Glenn Morrison the easiest run to the try line for a try you would ever see. Great break on the far side. Pass went astray. Growth wasn't there to take advantage of any overlap. He was still getting attention. But Tamana Tahu continues his great form in this game to get the first try in the second half for his side.
Gee, that's brilliant. Arthur Beecham would be proud of that. To be able to drag in 3 players under that pressure and then get the ball away to this man Morrison, who'd stayed alive. He knew Tahu was quite capable of it. Delaney again.
21 metres out, he's got it. Delaney converts the try of Morrison. Parramatta 22, Manly 12. At the Sydney Cricket Ground today, 22-12 the scoreboard in favour of Parramatta. They led 16-0. And then coming up to half-time, 2 tries within the space of a couple of minutes. So Manly get back to 16-12. Parramatta now have gone back out to this lead of 22-12.
And that was their first time at Parramatta, to be first to score. How often do you see when a team scores late in a half of football, they come straight out and score again after half-time, and everyone says, well, the minute before half-time and the minute at half-time cost them the game. Parramatta's assignment was to be first to score, and they did it with their defence on their own line. They repelled Manly a few times before getting their chance.
Played by Kalis, who's toiled hard today. He might have hurt his eye there. The kick down the ground goes over the dead ball line for Stewart to recover and bring back to the 20. Tahu today came here as one of those possibilities to make the test side next Friday night. You'll see it on 9 at 8:30. The Kangaroos versus the Kiwis. And he's up against a centre called Stephen Bell, who scored 8 tries in 7 rounds.
And I bet our selectors play 2 centres on the wing just to avoid the confrontation. They won't pick specialist wingers. They'll say, oh no, we'll put Tahu and King on the wing. They've played on the wing before.
You'll hear that test side on National 9 News immediately after the football as well. I'll tell you as soon as possible.
Played by King now. I think you're probably right, Gus, in choosing those 2 blokes. Oh, Kennedy's taken high by Morrison. Kennedy high by Morrison. Clark. Penalty. Penalty Manly. Orford kicking for the far side. Finding it just outside the 20. I know what you're saying, Gus, but gee, a bloke like Eric Growth, a real winger, he'd have to feel pretty hardly done by. His form has been outstanding.
Oh, 100%.
Kite.
It's a good game, this one, Rabbits.
This is a very good game. Dunley for Orford. Orford behind Kennedy for Burns. The youngster who cut his teeth playing juniors for the Texas Terriers up near Gundawindi. Now Dunley drifting. Watmo backing. Held in an upright tackle by Parramatta. Right on their own line. Dunley, watch him. He's good from dummy half. Dunley takes the tackle. Delaney held him. Watmo dummy half. Out to Orford, a floater. Now a long torpedo pass, and Stephen Bell has scored 9 tries after 8 rounds of football for his new club. I've only just brought up the comparison of Bell and Tahu, and obviously I was saying Tahu's having a blinder against Bell, and suddenly Orford, the Melbourne combination, and Bell has gone in.
Yeah, Matt Orford, good vision in this play. The problem is that Eric Growth doesn't react to his centre. As we freeze it there, you can see that his centre partner's moved up. Eric Growth is way back there, and the man with the football is going to find these support players as play continues with a lovely cut-out pass. Stephen Bell, 2-on-1.
Matt Orford kicked one from the sideline in the last minute of the first half. Same angle, other end of the field. Bingo.
Oh, bingo. He might have given it too much. He's hit the uprights and bounced away. 22-16.
And Delaney restarts, going to Brett Stewart. Jason King will bring it back. And talking about Eric Growth in defence there, if he comes halfway up, all of a sudden Matt Orford's in 2 minds as to whether to throw the pass, because there could be an intercept on. If he comes half up, he can still cover the kick if it goes in behind. That occasion he made the mind up for the opposition, and Orford was good enough.
Kennedy harassed by the defence, frustrated by the defence. He was keen, it seemed as though he was keen to pop a pass. Dunley plays it inside the 40-metre line. Stewart dancing around Morrison. Kalis goes in together with Riddell, and they make the tackle right on the halfway line. 3 tries apiece now, and it's turning out to be exactly what the promoters wanted. A real Manly Parramatta spine tingler. Peterson, he got a try, a spectacular try. Delaney scored first. Peterson and Morrison have scored for Parramatta. Hindmarsh with the ball. Stewart, Hicks and Bell have scored for Manly. So level on tries. Michael Vella back for his second session. A shoulder by King, which probably highlights the danger of a shoulder. If it doesn't work, it can make you look rather embarrassed. Tim Smith away. Down goes Tahu. 22-16. Converted try in this game. As Tim Smith drives it down. And will it go dead? Yes, it does. So we'll come back to the 20-metre line for a comfortable restart, and Parramatta will get their defensive line organised. This is Matai. Nobody with him, really. I was just looking for his winger on his left. I still can't find his winger.
He's not too well after that run either, Steve Matai. Limping back with a hip injury. Eye injury as Brent Kite takes it towards the halfway line with a solid charge.
So they're out to the halfway line. A minimum of fuss and a minimum of effort. Kennedy taken down by Widders. Hindmarsh, the shorts of his traditionally getting a bit lower. Second by second. Menzies running along the 40 before trying to straighten, gets the ball away. Chris Hicks. Hicks goes on an angle. Oh, he's picked off. Picked off by a McKinnon special. Then Dunley on tackle 5. Dunley to Warford. It's knocked down by Parramatta. He played at the football. Restarted the tackle count, did the referee. And Burns will play the ball. 8 metres away from the Parramatta uprights. Played by Burns. Now it's out to King. King backs into Vella. 2 metres from the line. Dunley behind the forward decoy. Orford's pass on the line. Watmo scores. Does he get it down? No. Watmo can't get the ball down for the second time in the game.
He was held up. Well, a try saver there on 2 occasions. The second by Nathan Hindmarsh. The first one by Jeremy Smith, who deliberately knocked the football down when Matt Orford was trying to get one of his outside players. Here's Kite towards the line. Still going.
Kite scores. He's over the line. That's a try. That is a try. He's pointed to the spot. We will be level in a matter of moments from now. Parramatta have folded eventually. Their defence online. Their scrambling has been brilliant. But just then, it collapsed. And Kite has got the try Manly wanted.
Well, Stephen Menzies initiated it again, slipping a superb pass to Chris Hicks. At the end of this set of 6, Matt Orford had 4-on-1 on the outside. Jeremy Smith knocked the football down. And if Tremana Tahu attracted 3 defenders at the other end, Brent Kite has got through 4 of them to slam the football down on the line. Played Origin a couple of years ago, and that's the kind of form that saw him earn a sky blue jersey.
It was one of those awkward ones. Plenty of defenders there, but no one could actually get a good handle on him. Determination from Kite. Brilliant determination. Good player, this bloke. Like to see him in the New South Wales colours again this year. Orford to square it up. I didn't know who would win this game all week. Here it is, 20 minutes to go, Rabbits. I still don't know who's going to win.
Orford from almost in front. It is 22-22. Eagles and Eels, 22-22. What a game.
And Ray, I'm sure it won't finish 22-22 in the 80 minutes, but these two sides did play the first ever Golden Point game back in 2003.
Kite, who scored the most recent of tries. Dunley with a run that seemingly was never-ending.
Oh, Rabbits, these Manly forwards have got the bit between their teeth now. Kennedy is urging them on. They are just storming over the advantage line.
Matai, tackled on halfway by Hindmarsh. Again, they've reached the halfway line with a minimum of energy. Simple stuff, and running 10 metres to find a defender. Orford's kick high, hanging. McKinnon, he was lucky. He just got a step in before Menzies came boiling down on him. Peterson runs it out. Andrew Voss sideline.
Yeah, he gets out in such a tight finish too. You look at the interchange. Des Hasler very shrewd this second half. Hasn't made a change the second half. 5 interchanges Manly, 9 Parramatta.
One-on-one steal by Matai on Delaney now. That might well be the play of the day. 20 metres out, Kite driving off the legs. 12 metres out, Vella making the tackle. Dunley, Burns, Bell, stepping, standing. Menzies, stepping off the right, turning it back for Stewart. Stewart tries to go over the 10-metre line. Flick passes for Bell. Bell tries to go around Kalis. Morrison and Kalis make the tackle. Dunley now. Off it goes. Out to Orford. Now for Kennedy. Kennedy put down. Hindmarsh around the legs. McKinnon up the top. From Dunley to Orford. Orford for Watmo. Watmo. Can he get it down? Is he on the line? He wants it played. Referee Clark says to Watmo, play the ball. Orford puts it through the legs. And it's been touched by Parramatta. 6 more tackles. Played by Matai. Out it comes to Orford. Orford to Burns. Burns held on the 10. Morrison the tackle. Dunley gives it back for Kennedy. Kennedy gets it to 7 metres. Less than that from the Parramatta line. Play back for Dunley. Dunley goes to Orford. Orford! Oh, it's come down off the ankles of Robertson. Back for Orford. Orford plays to the whistle. He's tackled 6 metres out. Play back to Robertson. Robertson for Matai. Matai taken by Hindmarsh. And they again are 7 metres out. 4 tackles gone. Played by Matai slowly. Stewart dummies to Burns. Puts a kick in. McKinnon is back there. Can he get it back? Oh, no. He's taken the ground by Manly. They are really on a high at the moment, Manly. But wasn't a great defence by Parramatta, nevertheless.
Oh, it certainly was. It's a sensational game of football. Sensational game. Manly are looking good because they've got all the ball at the moment. This is their charge towards victory. It's whether or not Parramatta can hold them out. Yet another set of 6 here from the line dropout. Manly, they put all their cards in the one deck right here, right now.
18 minutes of the game to go. Smith, the halfback, with a monster drop kick. A monster of a drop kick. They come off their own 40-metre line, Manly, with the prop forward King. 42 metres away from the Parramatta line. Menzies. Oh, the pass has gone again to nobody. Orford gives it off to Kennedy. And you mentioned that Manly's forwards were on a high, and I agreed with you at the time, but gee, I tell you what, that took plenty out of them. They attacked and attacked, and Parramatta repelled and repelled. They both look like they're out on their feet now, both sets.
I reckon Anthony Watmo had 2/3 of his body over the line. He just couldn't get the ball there.
He's had a big day, Anthony. So Dunley, off it goes to Bryant. Bryant, a struggling run, a straining run. He's 15 out from the line, 5 tackles for Manly. Can they do it here? Burns puts a kick in, but it's too big. So well done, Parramatta. You have faced the storm in the shape of the Sea Eagles, and now you get a little bit of relaxation time.
I don't know how much relaxation, Rabbits. They've made 10 interchanges. Andrew Boss alluded to this earlier. We've still got 17 minutes to go. They've only got 2 changes up their sleeve, and they've just had an enormous amount of juice taken out of them with all that defensive work. These players out on the field for Parramatta are the ones that have got to do it.
Peterson. 16.5 minutes of time. Moi running into a solid hit from Watmo, and Kennedy goes in with Dunley.
That was a disappointing kick from Travis Burns. There's the crowd, just over 19,200. If they could have got it in the in-goal area and forced another set of 6, you would have thought that Parramatta had to crack. But for the Eels, it went dead as Delaney tries to get rid of his opposition man, Matai, who clings on.
So Parramatta, off the back of a magnificent segment of defence in the game. They go to the air, and up it goes. Tahu throws the ball and hopes for Gross. He's found Gross. Gross goes back. Manly get the ball. They played at the ball. 6 more tackles, Parramatta. Kalis gets it away to Tim Smith. He gets it away to Nathan Hindmarsh. He's held by Bryant, and he will play the ball in an upright tackle. 20 metres out, middle of the ground. Tamana Tahu, taken by Menzies. 12 metres out in front of the uprights. Hindmarsh gets it away to Kalis, and Kalis is tackled. Dummy half is Morris. Now he goes to the right, and knocked on by Tim Smith, the halfback.
Yeah, don't get upset. Get on with the next play. It was a poor pass from the dummy half. Smith was going away from it. He wanted it better out in front. Just got to put it behind you and get on with the game. This is a super game. Absolutely super game.
They're both out on their feet, Gus.
Oh, they are.
Just
a super game.
Just got to cop that. And now Luke Williamson about to come into the game. Only played 23 minutes last week. In fact, Rose only played 11 minutes. So Des Hasler is making a bit of a tactic of bringing a man on very late with the freshest of legs, and that's Luke Williamson.
He's about to go to dummy half. Williamson. Dunley goes off. He's done well. You went very well, Shane.
I think we'll see him back. I think if he can get a 4 or 5 minute breather and get him back to try and win it for the side.
Kite. Orford now. Driving it over towards Peterson. Standing on his own 20. Gets it out to the 30-metre line. And the dummy half is with us. Defence is more sapping of energy than attack. But I tell you what, that period of attack, when Manly had the ball, tackle after tackle, it's just taken the ginger out of them as well. Boy, back towards halfway. And he's got a blood bin, I fancy.
Louis, blood bin, mate. Tackle 3, that.
Yeah, Moy.
Take out the back, mate.
Blood coming from a scalp wound.
They won't want to replace him. They want to hope that they can stop the bleeding and keep him out there.
Growth from dummy half. Down the left side. 42 metres away from the Manly line. John Morris. Now it's with Chad Robinson. Spinning and trying to make some yards. 32 metres out, in fact, from the Manly line on the last tackle. Here's Tim Smith bombing. Up to the air she goes, and Stewart didn't have to leave the ground. It was an uncontested bomb.
He got good cover from a couple of teammates, Ray, as Matai again puts the foot down. This is the area of the game where Tim Smith has got to at least match his opponent, Matt Orford, the much more experienced player. This is where you've got to guide your team home. You've got to talk them home and direct them home.
Robertson giving it to his other winger, Hicks. How often do you see that, winger to winger? Now, Bryant. Fui Moy comes back with the head bandaged. So Orford kicking from outside the 40-metre line. The bounce favourable. And McKinnon is tackled on the 30. He's lost the ball, McKinnon! Sunday football back at the cricket ground. 22-22. And when we left you, McKinnon loses the football.
Yeah, the first contact with Ben Kennedy was the key. It's an unhappy game in that area of returning the football. Wade McKinnon, as Matai puts the step on. 12 to go. Game is there for the taking.
Played by Matai. Here is Cuthbertson. And he's held 19 out from the Parramatta line. Williamson, the blonde-headed number 15. Passing for Bryant to go behind Kennedy. Then to Orford, and then it came down off Watmo to Orford. But he ruled the ball, travelled forward.
Oh, they created space out there on the left-hand side of the field. Parramatta was shot. They created space, and Watmo, I really think Watmo came far too early. He cut down the opportunities for Orford to actually select a runner. He stampeded his ball player, and Orford had to give him the ball, and he wasn't in position to take it.
Just lip reading there, Matt Orford, as he came back, he said, "Sorry, fellas, that was my fault." And that's, I think, players appreciate that when you put your hand up.
Hindmarsh, just inside the 20-metre line. Moy running at Williamson and Cuthbertson. I can't believe this bloke, Moy. I really can't. I think some people thought he was a novelty show when he first came, I think, to South. But, gee, what Brian Smith has done with him and what he's done for himself have been just wonderful achievements. Fui Moy. Nobody's laughing anymore, let me tell you. Morrison plays it now. Morris gets it away from dummy half to McKinnon. McKinnon, he finds an opening down the right side of the cricket ground. Gets it back to Delaney. Delaney is tackled, and it comes away from his grasp. And referee Stephen Clark will set up a scrum 10 metres from the line.
Brilliant play down the short side. McKinnon trying to make up for a couple of mistakes, bursts through. Delaney looms up on the inside, but he's well attended. Great scrambling defence. How often do you see that, a player tackle from behind when he's at full pace?
Well,
and I don't know why it's not play on.
No, Michael Robertson and the crowd are blowing up that it wasn't play on. Quick decision by Stephen Clark results in the scrum win for Manly. Stephen Bell confronted by 3, led by Hindmarsh.
I still don't know who's going to win.
I'll tell you in 9.5 minutes.
Well, maybe.
You mightn't know then either.
Andrew on the sideline.
Well, Ray, on a day when we're reliving the memory of the 1976 grand final, they are running to the same ends they were in the second half of that grand final. For Neville Glover's sake, I hope Matt Peterson scores the match-winning try down that far corner.
I promised him we wouldn't bring it up again. Williamson to Orford, to Kennedy, to Watmo, and out to Matai. He's been one of the stars of the day, but the ball has gone forward. It's a scrum, loose head and feed for Parramatta. 40 metres out from the line. Sit down, Gus.
Well, I never saw one there that I thought, well, that's forward. That's not forward. That can't be the pass. It can't be.
That's the one that's been called.
No. You can't call that forward.
That'll be a no. It's had everything this game. Absolutely everything. Including its share of controversy now.
Parramatta there with Hindmarsh. 35 away from the Manly line. They get the chance. I don't know if they've got enough petrol, either of them, to get over the line. Moi, 30 metres away from the Manly line. Tahu looking at them, inviting them, now tries to penetrate them, gets it back to Morris. Morris does something similar. And they're 15 out from the line now. Third tackle down for Parramatta. Growth. On it goes to Robinson. Robinson to Kalis, playing his 150th first grade game today. He will play it. 12 out in the middle. Morris gives it out to Tim Smith. Over it goes to Widders. Widders is put down. 5 tackles gone. The try line 2 metres away. Now they come back to Tim Smith. The little kick goes in, taken by Menzies. Menzies tackled a couple of metres out from his own line. Stewart is tackled by Moi. Now Bell, away from Moi, confronted by Hindmarsh and Kalis. Manly, 12 metres away from the line.
They're in a bunch now, struggling to find someone to run the ball.
Beyond the 20-metre line, played by Cuthbertson. Williamson for Bryant, and Bryant is put down by Kalis and Hindmarsh. 30 metres out from the Manly line. 22-22 as the kick comes from Orford, taken on the fly by Peterson, giving it to McKinnon. The back trio are going to link up, are they? McKinnon takes the tackle. I thought it would come to Growth. Peterson runs that way. Tackled on the halfway by Burns. Growth then for a run. Growth goes 7 metres at Kennedy. Pulled down on the 40-metre line. Manly's end of the park by Watmo and Kennedy. Tahu scoops it up, goes down towards the 30, gets inside the 30-metre line. 4 tackles gone for Parramatta. Now it's away for Tim Smith to go to the right to Widders. Widders on to Morrison. Morrison inside for Hindmarsh. Would they think about the drop now? Tim Smith does that. It doesn't really get off the tarmac. Flight Lieutenant, you're not even off the tarmac.
He should have been thinking one ruck ahead there, Tim Smith. If he was thinking field goal, he should never have let the ball go right out to the right-hand side for tackle 5. He was in the centre of the field on tackle 4. If he wanted field goal, he had to send the ball to the left, not to the right, to give himself a favourable angle. That's experience or inexperience. He waited till tackle 5 before he thought field goal.
So, reminding you of the test teams for next Friday night. The test to be seen on 9, exclusive, live and exclusive, and will be named in National 9 News tonight, immediately following the match. They might have to put the news back, as a matter of fact, the way we're going here. An absolute cliffhanger provided by 34 players today. 22 all. You don't really care who wins. Orford kicking. Stewart's after it. McKinnon up from the deep. Menzies makes the tackle. Not only did he tackle the ball carrier, he got the winger Peterson at the same time. He's a miracle worker, Stephen Menzies. 2 with the 1 shot. Now Delaney. 10 changes Eagles, 11 changes Eels. Morrison, taken by Kite. Good tackle by Brent Kite. Rattles him up. He plays it on halfway. Morris now, back for Widders. Widders is 11 metres into Manly's territory. 5 tackles gone, 21-metre gain. Now for Tim Smith. He puts it on the right foot, punches it down into the Paddington corner there. And away comes the winger Robertson.
Well, that was a really good set of 6 in defence from the Manly team. They muscled up. They just didn't put pressure on the kicker right at the end of it to finish it off. Got the ball in pretty good field position, but it could have been a touch better. Maddai again finds metres from dummy half, takes it over the halfway into the final 5.
I'm starting to think Manly, Rabbits. I'm starting to think Manly are looking the better.
Orford,
4 to go.
Played back for the fullback, Stewart. And it's Robinson who makes the tackle.
Well, Orford's a dummy half on the last tackle. He's got to get a kick away and a good one somewhere.
Peterson knocks it backwards. Oh, then he has to rake it dead. He's gone for a diving catch, lost the ball, realised it was there for Manly to score, and then he bats it over the dead ball line.
I think that's the moment. That could be the straw that breaks Parramatta's back.
Well, you'd think Manly would work for a try in the first 3 or 4 tackles. They haven't got it by number 4 as timeout is called. Then they'll look to win this 23-22.
Line dropout. Manly will work it to the middle, and Orford will probably take the shot. That's 22-22 with 3 1/4 minutes to go. Williamson, and to the centre goes King. Williamson, Kennedy, staying up the middle corridor. They're waiting for Orford. They're working for Orford. 3rd gone. When will he take it? Williamson to the 10. They've run away from the middle just a little bit. That's 4. He is standing right behind the play the ball. Here he is now. Can't get the shot away. Menzies has got the football. Turns it in. Stephen Bell beats one. Stephen Bell is tackled by Robinson. Played the ball back for Burns. Burns goes back to Orford. He snaps a shot. He takes the shot. He's got the field goal. He got the field goal. He had to take the shot so quickly. It was fantastic from Orford.
Oh, Matt Orford repaying the big dollars that they paid to bring him up from south of the border. Not an easy shot, under all sorts of pressure. Maintained his cool, his composure, and put it through. That's the reaction. They trailed by plenty early in this game, but the Eagles are going to win it.
23-22. Burns is tackled 40 metres away from his own line. Timeout called. Well, that was fantastic from Orford. He couldn't get the shot away the first time, and the second time he had a split second to kick the ball, and he did that with magnificent accuracy. Menzies loses the ball. Parramatta with 1 3/4 minutes to go. They should pack the scrum to get timeout called. So Parramatta have got one last chance.
Well, it's not over. A full set of 6 here, Gus.
It's not over.
Tim Smith to feed the scrum. Hindmarsh standing out of the scrum to the right with Widders outside him. And that's where it's gone. Hindmarsh for Widders. And they're going over towards Delaney. They'll work it back to the middle where McKinnon is waiting. This is Peake. And Peake is tackled on the second. You'd be keen to find Tahu or Gross. Here's Moi Moi. 30 metres out from the line now.
Your best value is 1 point for the draw. That's your best chance.
Here is Riddell, away for Growth, and Growth is in combat in there with Kennedy. So Growth will play it on the fourth tackle. They go to Tim Smith, they go to Fui Moi Moi. Almost through. Tackle 20 metres out by Menzies. This is the last. Tim Smith takes the shot. Tim Smith kicks and it misses. Smith has missed the drop goal. So Manly, now you can say, will win the game. 23-22. He waited till the last tackle again.
Well, the face of disappointment, but you think he'll be involved in many more games at this level. Manly fans ecstatic. Just a great clash adding to so many that have been played at this game. Man of the match today, Steve Menzies. Superb performance from the back rower. A shake of the head maybe, but it'll be smiles in about 30 seconds time as Steve Maddai takes a safe run, wraps the football up from dummy half.
23-22. Second tackle. Stewart. Stephen Bell is held. That's the end of the game. A fantastic game. 23-22 Manly.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation for the National Rugby League Partnership. Monday nights, exclusive to Fox Sports, the most comprehensive roundup of all the weekend's Premier League action in the highlight show. Find out how your team fared and see every goal from every game.
There is no substitute for class. Oh my goodness! Normal service is resumed.
The only place you'll see the highlight show is on Fox Sports, Monday night at 6 and 9:30. International Rugby League returns to Brisbane when the Kangaroos clash with the Kiwis in the Bundaberg Run Test match. The Kangaroos are hungry for revenge after their caning in last year's Tri Nations final. The Kiwis will be looking to defend their title as the world's best rugby league country. So get to the game and show your support for the green and gold by screaming Kangaroos. Bundaberg Run Test match, Friday, March 5. Kick-off 7:30, Suncorp Stadium.
Jeep Grand Cherokee Navigator comes with a powerful, fuel-efficient V8 or V6 turbo diesel. And for a short time, $4,500 worth of extras at no extra cost. Like side steps, tow bar, nudge bar, roof racks, and a genuine Jeep touchscreen navigation system. So you won't get lost on the way home. Find the quickest way to your nearest Jeep dealer. This program is brought to you by Tooheys New for the love of beer.